What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So earlier on today I addressed how I wanted to really dig into what some states are doing in order to provide more stimulus to the American people, because more stimulus checks are going out. That is the good news. What we know at this time is that many states have a surplus of cash. California is one of those. And when states have a surplus of cash for the end of the year, in many cases, they're looking for ways to give some of that money back to their residents. This is a law in California. Now, I bring this up because right now you're going to see all over the place that there's a petition that's been going around for over the past year. This petition has more than 3 million signatures on it. This is asking for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks and $1,000 for every month for 1 year after the pandemic is over. Now, obviously, we're still in this pandemic, but here's what you need to keep in mind: that just because there's a petition that's calling for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks does not mean it's going to happen. It's there. It's something that Congress has used to try to get more support for a stimulus check, but that's not something that many people actually want. But what everybody needs is some form of stimulus, some form of added help, okay, additional relief. So here's what we know at this time. Right now, there's so many states talking, and cities and counties all discussing, could we get additional help? Could we provide additional relief to our residents? And the answer is yes. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom, he recently stated that stimulus checks will likely be included in the revised California budget proposal. Now, I bring this up because California has already done the Golden State stimulus. Okay, they've already sent out over $1,000 checks to their residents. Many people have already have received theirs already. I believe the last of these stimulus checks, the Golden State stimulus, was actually sent out on January 11th. So if you live in California, and I believe if you make under $75,000 per year, then you can get a Golden State stimulus. Okay? Now, there's another state, Oregon. Oregon Democrats, they are revising their proposal for a one-time stimulus payment to essential workers. This is big because essential workers have been really helping. Essential workers have pretty much been keeping the economy running for the past 2 years. And yet essential workers seem to be one of the groups that is overlooked. It's essential workers, elderly, clearly overlooked. But this could be big because there are a lot of elderly people that are considered essential workers. But in Oregon, they're considering taking $1,000 and putting that towards their essential workers, a one-time stimulus payment of $1,000. Now, there's also a bill, okay, and the bill is called the Essential Worker Pay Act. This was essentially calling for $2,000 stimulus payments. This was actually floated last spring. However, they decided to bring it down to $1,000, and this is the revised proposal at this time. And multiple representatives do support this as a one-time payment. So this could be interesting because this is something that's coming statewide for essential workers. So this could be pretty big, okay? So make sure you stay tuned for that. Not sure what's going to happen there or when this bill could potentially pass, but the expectation is it will pass. So for people in Oregon who would be eligible for the payment, here's what we know. People whose jobs are classified as medium to high risk by the Occupational Health and Safety Administration. Okay? People who worked at least 20 hours per week in person from April to December of 2020. You made less than $22 an hour or about $43,000 a year. And you received no bonus or hazard pay from the state. Big difference here. Received no bonus or hazard pay from the state. If you received a bonus or hazard pay from your employer, that's fine, but not from the state. That's the big key word. Okay? We also know that there's about 650 black women across Georgia that will be getting $850 per month for the next 2 years. That's big. $850 per month for the next 2 years. This is going to be part of several guaranteed income experimental programs across the state. Okay? But here's what you need to keep in mind. Right now, they're going to try to provide, or multiple cities are trying to provide and experiment with guaranteed income programs for specific groups of people. In Georgia, they want to specifically target black women. Now, obviously, black women who are underneath the their guidelines, their income guidelines, their income limits. And the purpose of this is to help close the race and gender wealth gap. That's what they're saying. So, and the reason I want to bring this up is because at this time, now, whether you are a black woman in Georgia or not doesn't matter. What matters is lawmakers are looking at ways to put in additional stimulus into specific pockets, within this country, to provide some type of benefit, but also to provide income to bring that group and that pocket up, to make it a little more equal. I think that's big, because I think that's something that we have missed here in the United States, especially over the last, 20, 30 years. We've seen the race and the wealth gap, right, based on gender, completely change. The white male, that's what is considered rich. You're a white male, you must be rich. But that's not the way it should be. Doesn't matter if you're white, doesn't matter if you're a male. It shouldn't matter if you bring value to whatever industry you're in. That should be what makes you rich. But here's some other areas that are offering universal basic income. We know Alaska, they actually give a universal basic income check to every single resident, but it's based off the revenue that the state has made from oil. So last year, everyone's going to receive a check for $1,114. This is from last year, but the check will be for this year. In Pittsburgh, 200 families are going to receive $500 per month for 2 years. This is going to come out to about $12,000. In Columbia, South Carolina, 100 low-income fathers. Remember how we always see there's single mothers. They get some additional help. Well, in Columbia, South Carolina, they're going to offer 100 low-income fathers will receive $500 per month for 11 months. This is interesting. Remember how I just talked about how black women in Georgia, that in certain cities and states they're going to select specific pockets of people and try to bring them up? That's essentially what's happening here. In Chicago, families that make under $35,000 per year, you could be randomly selected to receive a $500 per month check. Okay. In New Orleans, young adults, you will be selected to receive up to $359 per month. And the goal behind this is to pretty much teach financial literacy. This is something that we really don't teach in schools, and I think that's what is really causing a lot of young adults and even older people a lot of frustration and heartache, because nobody teaches them about really compounding interest. Nobody teaches them about taxes and how it's not about the amount of money you make, it's about the amount of money that you can actually keep. Nobody teaches them about real estate and the tax benefits behind it, right? Nobody teaches them about business. And that's a big issue. So everyone says we need to save, start a 401k. Well, a 401k is really just a tax deferral. This was created as a way to defer your income, because when it was created, taxes were sky high. So nobody wanted to pay taxes then. Let's defer it as long as we can till taxes come down, and then we will collect that money and pay the lower tax. That's all it was. It's not really a great investment, but nobody knows that. So this is actually going to teach people financial literacy. In Newark, New Jersey, 400 residents are going to see about $250 bi-weekly, okay, or $3,000 per year. Now, and this is going to go on for 2 years. When I say bi-weekly, it could either mean twice per week or means every other week. In this case, it's every other week, so $500 per month. In New York, 2,700 people will qualify for $100, $125 per month. This is going to go on for 3 years. In Rochester, for 1 year, about 175 families are going to see $500 per month. Okay. Now, this actually happened last year as well. Okay. This is going to go on this year, and then they'll go on for 2023 as well. So it's going to go on for about 2 years. But we could see 175 different families in 2023. That's at least the expectation at this point. In Shreveport, single parents making below 120,000 or 120% of the federal poverty line, they could see a $660 per month payment for 1 full year. This is pretty big, and now the governor is getting a little bit of flack for this. So we'll see what happens, but chances are this is going to go through. In Durham, North Carolina, 115 residents could see $500 per month for 1 full year. And again, in California, you are going to receive payments. You are going to receive payments. If you live in California, you are a lower income individual or family, you will be receiving payments. I do not know exactly how much it's going to be, but the reports indicate it will be less than what the Golden State Stimulus number 2 was. Okay? Now, do I think it's going to be $500? Maybe. Do I think it's going to be, $1,000? Possibly, but it's probably not going to be that high. It's probably going to be close to about $500 to maybe $800. That's at least the expectation at this point. But again, as we know more, I promise I will bring you that news as soon as we get it. But I promise you guys, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update as to what we could potentially be seeing over the next few months. We could be seeing more stimulus checks. We could be seeing more universal basic income and pilot programs coming forward. These guaranteed income, priorities. This is something that many Democrats really want, to push guaranteed income, because guaranteed income means the family will be more secure. So that's what we know at this time. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.